Alright, let's start it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome back to the marketing class. And for tonight's class, we will talk about the marketing strategy chapter 4. We have been studying the marketing first principle. The first one is customer is differ. Second one is customer changes. And for tonight's class, the topic is all competitors react. How to manage the sustainable competitive advantage. So as usual, if any question, just shoot in the middle. Yeah. So because I will go through this because we are going to also having the presentation for your assignment, the clustering model. All right. So basically, in this chapter, I will start with the introduction of why all the competitors react. All the competitors react is very important. And then we are going to see the approaches for managing the sustainable competitive advantage by looking at the evolutions of the sustainable competitive advantage for the last 5 centuries. Yeah? And then we will go into the customer equity perspective and see how to conduct customer experience. And then we are going to discuss on the framework on how to manage the competitive advantage. As usual, the input, process, and output. Okay. All customers react. Okay. Okay, all competitors react. So basically, the nature of the competition is that every company, every firm with their scarcity of capital, their scarcity of capacity, they want to conquer the market. They want to copy and innovate. Yeah, all your action. Yeah, so they will react by copy and innovate for whatever you did. Let's say, as a first mover, you create a new car. All your competitors will strive to copy and innovate better than you, yeah? And confront you on the market. So your honeymoon month may be around 5 to 6 months. After that, the competitor will identify how to copy and innovate for your products. Especially in the current days, every firms easily copy and imitate and innovate for whatever your competitors, for whatever your product is. Like China copy and innovate all the product from the Europe, and then they sell it to us. Yeah. So all the competitors react by copy and innovate. And then when managers develop their marketing strategies, they need to consider the customer heterogeneity and dynamics. not only that, that they also need to anticipate the the competitors' reaction. Okay, in developing their marketing strategy, they consider their heterogeneity and dynamics, but also they need to anticipate the competitors' reaction. Why? To build the barrier, yeah? To build the barrier, because the cost, the to maintain your profit and sales, you need to create a barrier that prohibits your competitor to get near you. So that is what we call sustainable competitive advantage. This is the barrier. This is your company, and this is your barrier, your fort. Yeah? This is what we call sustainable competitive advantage. Typically, a firm must establish the sustainable position with a targeted customer group before they can build sustainable competitive advantage around that position. And this maintaining the sustainable competitive advantage may be the most difficult to execute. Yeah? So there is one caption from Sun Tzu that he said that the art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of the enemies not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him. Yeah? Readiness. Not on the chance of not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unassailable. So the attack is absolute. The competitor will attack you. To maintain your profit and sales, you need to create a barrier, which is called sustainable competitive advantage. Right. Sustainable competitive advantage has three criteria. When you want to create a sustainable competitive advantage, there are three criteria to do that. First, customer care about what this sustainable competitive advantage offers. So customer care about your offers. Second, your firm should do better than your competitor, which generates a relative advantage. And the third, your product or services must be hard to duplicate or substitute, even with the significant resource. Yeah. So this is what makes the sustainable competitive advantage the most difficult things to do as a marketer. Yeah, because we need to be better than our competitor. And our product or services is hard to duplicate. Even when you are first to the market with a new idea, new fresh idea, it is not sufficient to create a barrier to competitor. Maybe only 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or a year. After that, the competitor will copy and innovate and giving a better product or services. So currently, the trend is kinda changing. Almost 80% of the GDP of the United States is coming from the service. And 20% of the GDP is coming from the product. Yeah. Why is that? Because the services value is going up and the product value is going down. My question, why product going down? Anybody can answer? Why product price going down? Year on year going down. The car price going down. The laptop price going down. Why is that? Anybody can answer? This is the product. This is the service. Why? What is the reason that the product is going down? The product price is going down.
Because technology, Bang.
Yeah, maybe yes, maybe not. What else?
Maybe because the market will, over time, catch up. So the competitors will also introduce new products that offers similar sort of values as like the one started the innovation.
Correct, Givari. So the competitor is doing better than you. They start to copy and innovate to have a better product and lower price. So they create better product, copy from you, innovate, which giving a lower price product. That's why it is kinda saturated if you are going to compete by selling products. So there is now switching of paradigm from selling product to selling services. Yeah? Let's say you are selling a refrigerator. So you want to sell the refrigerator to the Transmart. Okay, Transmart, I have a refrigerator, the cooling machine. Would you buy it? And then Transmart will compare to other producer. Oh, sorry, your price is too expensive. I prefer vendor A. So the competition is very massive. Then there is switching of paradigm rather than selling product. So they start to sell services. Okay, let me rent you my Hi Transmart. I would like to rent you my cooling machine. And then there is some maintenance fee there. Maintenance fee and then spare parts. Yep. Or okay, I sell you my product and then there will be after self-service, there is maintenance. Guarantee 10 years. Okay, or not guarantee 10 years. Okay, guarantee for the services, but for the spare part you have to pay. Yeah? Or we maintain we give you low price, but there will be charges for the services and maintenance. So the selling the service becoming more attractive in the market rather than selling the product. Arasa?
Araseo.
All right. Okay. So to make the sustainable competitive advantage hard to copy, the firms turn the key market. The firm often turn to key market-based sources for the sustained competitive advantage. The key market-based source are BOR, which is brand, offering, and relationship. So, to make you hard to copy, the firms turn into focus on the BOR, brand, offerings, and relationship. What about that? So, there are three market-based sources of sustainable competitive advantage, which is brands, offering, and relationship. The brand is most effective in large consumer markets. So this is on the products, which has lots of product, such as Unilever, yeah, P&G, Coca-Cola, mostly those consumer goods company having brand manager, yeah, having brand manager, because they need to maintain their brand for their sustainable competitive advantage. Yeah? So they how to maintain their sustainable competitive advantage within the brand. They conduct the advertising on the products, public relation on the products, sponsorship on the products, to keep their brand relevant with you. Number two is offerings. Yeah? The offerings become effective because new and innovative products and services have the potential to disrupt virtually any market segments. Yeah? So they are rely on the R&D, on the technology. Yeah? Example, Intel. So Intel has a label, the blue label, which stated Intel inside. Like in your laptop right now. Can you see the blue design on the or blue label on the your laptop? The Intel inside. Do you have it right now?
Yes, Pak.
Okay. So when people have the Intel inside label, yeah, okay, there is some shifting in customer paradigm. Okay, all right, so Intel inside, the customer will think that, okay, I like it. Okay, if I have a good experience with the laptop, okay, I know this is because of the Intel inside. So when the vendors, when Dell, when the Toshiba want to switch the microchip into the, what is the competitor's name? AMD. the customer will react. You cannot do that. I will not buy. I need the Intel inside. Whatever the laptop is, I want the laptop Intel inside. So Intel inside will be on top of every laptop. Yeah, because they put a label there. So they have a co-branding with all the vendors, and then to put the Intel inside on the laptop which use the Intel machine. Yeah. So every customer knows that this is Intel inside. Yeah. So that is becoming a sustainable competitive advantage to the Intel. Yeah. So it become effective because the innovative products have the potential to disrupt the market segments. The market, when they'll change the Intel into AMD, the market not buy. So there is some segments there, disrupting the market segments. And then number 3 is relationship. A relationship is most effective in B2B, in services or complex offering settings. Yeah. Relationship is not mostly in the B2B. Yeah. Business to business, like business to business or services, like a bank is a services company, insurance services company. Yeah. For the product companies such as Coca-Cola, for Unilever shampoo, they are more into the brand, that as the source of sustainable competitive advantage. In this relationship, we put burden on the salespeople. Yeah. So example, when you buy a Pajero Dakar, new Pajero Sport Dakar, there are a lot of features in the car. Yeah? The 4x4, the Bluetooth connection, etc. So we need to have the salespeople explain it to you. Yeah? Explain it to you on the how to get use of the features. Yeah? So in order for you to come back again to the showrooms, and then keep you service routine on the showroom. Yeah, to keep you coming. So that is relationship. Yeah, relationship. Okay, these 3 sources of sustainable competitive advantage, which is brands, offerings, and relationship, we call it BOR. Yeah, are additive and often work synergetically to give a firm a strong relative position in the marketplace. Any questions? Araso? Okay. All right. I recall I have a Starbucks cards. Yeah, I have a Starbucks cards. So Starbucks has a high quality brand. Yeah? High quality brand, valued around 5.4 billion US dollar. Yeah? That customer feel emotionally attached to. Yeah. I usually buy Starbucks using my Starbucks cards. Yeah? When I come to Singapore, before going to the office, I go to Starbucks and buy some coffee. Yeah? And then coming to the office. So having a morning with the Starbucks, yeah, with the laptop and Starbucks is giving me peace in mind, something like that. So Starbucks also offering a distinctive, unique coffee-based drinks and store environment. Yeah? So you have a when you come to Starbucks, so there is a lot of products, yeah, products there, mochaccino, cappuccino, etc. And the ambience is very good. So you also buy the environment there. You have a if you have a interview, usually if I have an if I want to interview some people, I go okay meet in Starbucks something like that. So we buy some environment, yeah, and then also the customer develop relationship with the employees in the local stores, yeah, who remember their drink orders as usual, sir, yeah, something like that. And then recognize that and recognize you by the name. Morning, Pak Jerry, how are you? As usual, yeah, something like that. So they remember you. Okay, so you Starbucks has the brand, has the unique offerings, and maintain relationship with the customers. The source of the sustainable competitive advantage generated from effective board strategy, yeah, to work together to increase the customer loyalty. Their board work together to increase customer loyalty. I have my Starbucks cards, yeah, and competitors find it very hard to overcome this barrier. And until now, Starbucks continues to innovate its offering. They have a Tivana tea products, yeah, and a technology-based service. They also have a mobile payment, yeah, mobile payment QR codes to maintain sustainable competitive advantage in this category. Right. So what is the yes, Sonia, questions? Okay. All right. So what is the barriers to duplicate on the board, brand, offering, and relationship? And where is it most effective? Yeah. So brand, barrier to duplication on brand is because that the brand image resides in consumers' mind, which make them difficult to duplicate. Yeah. And brand is most effectively used in the large consumer market, such as soft drinks, beers, fashion, automobiles, yeah, on the large consumer market, because they cannot have a relationship with the customer one by one because they have a huge customer. So they are focusing more into brand because it is more controllable. Example, BMW. Yeah. So they BMW, they need to have the brand ambassador. Who is the brand ambassador of BMW? Anybody know? Who is the brand ambassador of BMW? The world ambassador of the BMW. Who is it?
James Bond.
Correct, Evie. You know it. Okay, good. So James Bond is the world's ambassador of the BMW. Yeah. BMW pay 25,000 25 billion US dollar just to make James Bond use the latest BMW car. 12,000 or 12 million, 12 million, 12 million, yeah, 12 million US dollar, just to make sure that James Bond drive the BMW. And then, what about offerings? What is the barrier to duplicate? So, the barrier to duplicate in offering is that the cost benefit, the performance advantage, and access to distribution channel. And where is it mostly effective? Yeah, it is mostly effective in the most market where technology based business, like software companies, electronic companies, yeah. And the example is like iPhone, Apple iPhone, Apple. Yeah. So the technology, the software, the electronics, that is the barrier to duplicate is the cost and benefit. Why? Because the investment to duplicate that is very expensive. Huge amount of investment. Yeah. And then the relationship, the barrier to duplication is lead to the barrier to duplication is the trust, the commitment, the interpersonal reciprocal bonds, yeah, that are hard to build or duplicate. You have a favorite barista, yeah? So you only want that barista to make you the coffee because you like the style of the coffee, yeah. And then okay, I want to have that kind of experience again and again, yeah. So that leads to relationship, trust, yeah, to that particular person. So it is mostly effective in business to business. Let's say when you are going to the bank, so you want to be serviced by the person that you are feeling convenient with. Yeah. So that is on the barrier to duplication and where it is most effective. Any questions? Arasso? Capish?
Pronto.
All right. So, competitive reaction. So the competitive reaction, all the competitors can displace your firms in many different ways. What are their reaction? What are their response, yeah, to your actions? They can do technical innovation that provide competitors with a platform to launch a disruptive offerings. Yeah. So what happened in Nokia? What happened in what else? Ericsson. Yeah. There is technical innovation on the competitor such as Samsung, iPhone, with a platform to launch a disruptive offering that makes Nokia down, Samsung down, Ericsson down. Okay, wait a second. Mam, terlalu keras, Mam. And then exploiting. Wait a second. And then number 2 is that they can exploit the changes in the customer's desire. Yeah. Remember that the customer change and then they can exploit it. They can exploit the changes desire. And then all the individual entrepreneurship are constantly seeks a better way to solve a problem. And then when you have a product, yeah, they can easily copycat your product and improve it and make it more efficient, more effective, and giving a better price. So manager need to anticipate these reactions now and in the future by building barriers to that. Or you can call it the sustainable competitive advantage that can withstand the competitive assault. So in this marketing principle number 3, all competitor react. And an effective strategy must managers have is that the firm has the sustainable competitive advantage. Right, we go into the approaches. We started from the beginning of the pre-industrial age. Yeah, and then going to in the industrial technology and in the current service revolution. In the pre-industrial, interpersonal relationship are the greatest barrier to competitive attacks. So relationship is the greatest barrier, interpersonal. Yeah, because when you have your farm and then you sell your vegetables, yeah, to the store, we have a lot of farming in the location. Your interpersonal relationship with the store manager determine that your product goes into their store. So the interpersonal relationship is highly important. Yeah, producer is both the market and retailers. Sellers are to geographically proximate customer. Yeah, like a farmer. Yeah, in the pre-industrial age. And then coming into the industrial revolution, brands are important to signal product quality. So brand becoming important. Yeah. Mass production provides economic of scale. So there is mass production on the products. And geographically dispersed, yeah, scattered around the world. And there is trading company in the middleman. Large supply creates the needs for aggressive sales promotion. The example like the original brand like Ferrari, JCPenney, Gillette, yeah. So these are all the name of the people or the family name, yeah, family name of the product. Yeah. So Gillette promote their brand. Yeah. Gillette Gold, JCPenney on the fashion, Ferrari on cars. So in the industrial revolution, brand holding a critical position, brand manager. And then coming into the technological revolution, offering and innovation becoming key source of differentiation, becoming the key source of the sustainable competitive advantage. The one with the cutting edge technology rules the world. The one with the cutting edge software, yeah, rules the game. Like iPhone, Samsung, yeah, the technology company. There are shifts from tangible to digital, especially during the COVID-19. Yeah. Shifting from tangible to digital. Fast technological change and turbulence. Yeah. ICT holds very important role. Information, internet communication technologies. Examples, Apple, Google. Yeah. We have the Google platform, yeah, Google Meet, Google Classroom. Yeah. There is technological revolution. And what makes the barrier? The offering of the technological disruption. And then it is now the service revolution. Yeah, it is coming now, the service revolution, where this intermediation removes. Because of the technology, we do not need any middleman. There is this intermediation. So there is no middleman. The factory can directly come into the customer using the marketplace, using the Amazon, using the Alibaba. This intermediation removes middleman between the producer and the consumer. We can buy directly to the producer. Yeah? There is economic shift from a focus on product into services. Example, IBM is shifting to selling solution now rather than equipment. Yeah. Selling solution. Financial firms, financial services, HSBC, Wells Fargo, yeah, they continue to grow. Financial services. Yeah. So the relationship is coming back as the critical focal point in the services revolution. All the three brand offering relationship strategy are critical to success, but relationship becoming more important with the shift to a service economy. Yeah. Recall, United States having 80% of the gross national product is on the service economy, not in the product anymore. So they are now shifting. Yeah. So it may be you may also need to consider that there is shifting from product focus to service focus. Okay, we have a product, but we do not make money from that. We make money from the service. We make money from the maintenance. So that is what is happening in the current situation. Questions? Capish? All right. So we have, okay, this is the evolution. We have talked about this. All right. So we have talked about the brand, offering, and relationship. Yeah. Those three focal points is going into the customer equity perspective. Customer equity for a firm refer to the total of the discounted lifetime value of its all customer. Recall last week, how much is Sonia lifetime values? The customer equity refer to the total discounted values of all its customers. When a firm advertises to build a strong brand, makes R&D investment to develop innovative products. R&D to make an innovative product, or spends to hire salespeople on the relationship. Yeah? R&D for the offering. Yeah? It should increase that the firm's brand, offering, and relationship equities. Together, these three BOR equities constitute the firm customer equity, and often is the best barrier to competitive assault, sometimes termed as BOR equity stack. What is BOR equity stack? BOR equity stack so when we have total value of customer, yeah, we started from the offering first. Offering equity, so customer equity, perspective on brand, offering, relationship, equity stack. The total value of the customer comprised of relationship equity, brand equity, and offering equity. But as of the value, we start from the offering equity first. What is offering equity? Offering equity is the core benefit relative to cost of an offering. This is how much customer will pay for unlabeled products. Yeah. So let's say you have a you buy, okay, you test a car with no brand. Okay, there is a car, and there is no brand there, no brand, no logo, and then you try the car. Okay, the offering equity is how much you would pay for the unlabeled car. Let's say, okay, I will buy it 100 million rupiahs. Okay, this is my offering equity. Okay, good. Brand equity is a set of brand assets and liability linked to a brand. Yeah. Example, the difference. So brand equity is the difference between a price a customer will pay for a product after he learned the brand. Okay, Sonia, you have tried the car. You want to pay for the unlabeled car for 100 million rupiahs. What if I told you that this brand, this car brand is Mitsubishi? How much do you want to pay? Oh my God, this is the Mitsubishi. Okay, all right. If this is Mitsubishi, then I can pay 150. Yeah, because I always want to have a Mitsubishi in my garage, the 4x4 Mitsubishi. All right. I want to have a camperland, a camper van, overland. Okay, good. I will buy it If it is Mitsubishi, I will buy it 100 million rupiahs. 150 million rupiahs. What about if you tell her, oh, okay, let me tell you, the brand is Tata Xenon. Huh? What is that? This is from India. 4 times 4. Huh? Tata Xenon? Okay. Alright. How much do you want to pay if this is Tata Xenon? I don't want to pay 100. I can only give you 75 million rupiah. So the brand equity can bring the price up or bring the price down. We don't tell that brand equity will always bring the price up. No. It may also bring the price down because of several reasons. Because Tata Xenon do not have let's say do not have the representative here in Indonesia, something like that. Or like Ford already is not in Indonesia anymore. They only have Ford in Thailand. So it is Ford, okay, going down to 75. Why? Because there is no after self-service. I cannot service the car. I cannot fix the car if there is any problem. And what about the spare part? Ford is no longer in Jakarta, no longer in Indonesia. They migrate to Thailand. So brand equity can bring the price up and bring the price down. And the gap is what the brand equity is. The gap is 150 minus 100. So the brand equity is 50 million rupiah. And then the relationship equity. Okay, you have your sales the sales person, the sales representative explain the features, the features and benefits very good. Yeah. So how much do you want to pay if the sales explaining you very nicely, accurately, and help you set up the features of the car? Okay, I can pay 160. So this is the relationship equity, 10 million rupiah, 50 million rupiah. So this is what differentiate between offering equity, brand equity, and relationship equity. Araso, questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
All good? All right. So customer equity perspective offers many benefits, but it is hard to do. Yeah? Hard to do. There are three main arguments. So board equity are often the primary source of the firm sustainable competitive advantage. And then to make optimal decision, a firm needs a framework that measures, track, and report customer equities. Yeah, the equities are from the board. Yeah, offering equities, relationship equities, brand equities. Effective customer equity system represent sustainable competitive advantage in their own right. Okay, so it is having many benefits, but kind of hard to do. Okay. So in order to calculate the customer equity. In order to determine the customer equity, we conduct experiment using random assignment of customer, control treatment, and comparison to control group over time. So the process is quite simple. So you have divided the customer into 3 groups, let's say something like this, and do nothing to one group, the control group. This is the control group. You do nothing. Okay, or you do as usual, do it as usual, and then do your test, the treatment to other groups. Yeah, in this you do treatment. So this one you do treatment on the brand, let's say. This one you do conduct treatment on the relationship, and then the other one, okay, let's say 2, brand and offering. Brand and offering. This one in the relationship. And then after a period of time, test the difference of the outcome across groups and see if it varied significantly. Oh, in here sales is 5 cars. In here sales is 8 cars. In here sales is 10 cars. So the result of the experiment to determine the customer equity, when you give more relationship, it gives 8 cars. So meaning that the offering equity is 5 cars. When you conduct brand equity, it is 10 cars. Okay, let's say if you conduct relationship equity, it is so this kinda switch up. When you have a brand treatment, 8 cars. When you have a brand and relationship, it goes into 10 cars. So the offering equity give you 5 cars. The branding gives you 3 cars, and the brand and plus the relation, brand and relation gives you 5 cars. Yeah, 10 minus 5. So that is how to use the experiment to determine the customer equity. Questions? Any questions? Araso? Okay, good.
Hasil.
All right. So this is the marketing experiments using the multivariate. Yeah, I will tell you later. So let's say you have a ads. You want to get people to buy supplemental items when buying online. Yeah. What kind of ads? That is mostly your customer will be interested with. So you have a randomly assigned customer, and you can analyze the data. So when you conduct the analysis, you can do it using the field experiment, conjoint analysis, multivariate regression, and choice model. So when you have you want to put some ads towards the customer, and then the ad only using sales, and then the ad using swimsuit. Okay, with a woman with a swimsuit giving the offer. So what is the which ads giving the most interest to the customer? We can do it using the multivariate analysis. Wait a second, Excel. So this is also can be used in your RFM assignment, yeah, to determine which variable determines the dependent variable the most. Okay. What's this? Okay. 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 For example, let me check. Is there any good example? Oh, okay. All right. So there is a brand and then offering and relationship. And this is the sales. Yeah. What kind of program in branding equity? Let's say advertising, and I think I have it here in the beginning of the chapter. The brand, advertising, PR, and sponsors. Okay, advertising and PR. And then in the offering, we have the R&D and new technologies. Okay, R&D and new technologies. R&D is the new technology, isn't it? R&D on the offering, in the offering R&D and ya, okay lah, new technologies, new tech. And then the relationship into the salespeople and online relationship. Okay, salespeople and online relationship. Okay. So let's have it run between 1 to 10. This. And then going like this. And the objective for BOR is to get sustainable competitive advantage, meaning the profit or sales. Okay. The sales, let's say the sales is from run between 10,000 and then 50,000 rupiahs. 50,000. Okay, something like this. Okay, so the question will be, what about the advertising? Is it you like it very much? So okay, let's say 1 to 5 lah, 1 to 5. The Likert scale. Likert scale 1 to 5 using Likert. Yeah, Likert scale. Likert from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ya, Likert scale. Okay. So this is the multivariate models, yeah, regression, multilinear regression. So we have the data, and then data analytics, and then go into the regression. The y variable is the dependent variable, the sales. The input x range is the dimension, the variables. And then there is some label here. Output range will be here. Okay. So we want to know which dimension of the brand, of the offering, of the relationship that determines the sales the most. Yeah. So from here, from the result here, which one do you think is determine the sales the most? Anybody can answer it? No? Okay. So we see it from the coefficient. Which one is the highest one? This one. PR. Okay. So PR determine the sales the most. Yeah. Public relation determine the sales the most. This is the dummy variable, the dummy data. Yeah. Okay. PR determine the most. And then number 2 is R&D. But R&D having negative. So the more R&D, the less the sales. Yeah. The less the R&D, the more the sales. So the relationship is negative relationship. Like this. Okay. So positively relationship like the advertising, the more advertising, the more the sales. Yeah. Okay, this is positive. PR, the more the PR, the more the sales. R&D having negative relationship. The more R&D, the less the sales. Yeah. So the more the R&D, the less the sales. This is the sales. The less the R&D, the more the sales. So this is negatively related, positively related. And the model that is generated, the sales equal to intercept 28703 plus advertising 3001 times the advertising, which is, let's say that the score is 1 to 5. 5 is very big volume of advertising. 1 is the less one, the lowest value. So let's say this is 5 plus 2977 times the PR. How much is PR? 1 to 5 minus 3265 times R&D. So far. Yeah. So this is the way to develop the model for the multivariate regression. Any questions? So when in the assignment for the RFM, so the last question, you need to identify which category determine the sales the most. So you can use this kind of multivariate regression. Arasto? Capish? Arasto? Questions? Is there anybody that cannot get it?
Do we must draw the graph, Pak, in the assignment tomorrow next?
Not the graph, but to identify the coefficient based on the category. So you have the volume transaction, isn't it? On the each category, and you have the Y data, the dependent variable data. What was that? The sales or what? So or retention. Okay, for the let's say for people who is the segment is loyal, which category that loyal the most? Which category that not loyal the most? So you want which category that having the coefficient of not loyal the most? So that will determine where should you focus your strategy in. Yeah, where you should focus your strategy in. Rasa? Questions? Yes?
Pak,
Yes?
we only use the numbers in coefficient and not using the rest of the numbers, the result.
Because that is okay. You can use the all the model if you want to identify the new customer, whether he is going to be loyal or not loyal. Got it? But if you want to know the category that determine the loyalty the most, you can use the coefficient only. But if there is new customer, or you want to, if there is new customer, you want to predict whether he is loyal or not loyal. Yeah. So you can use the transaction volume to identify the sales, something like that, or to identify whether this is 1 or 0, loyal or not loyal, something like that. Yeah, you can use Y as 1 to 0, or you can use it as sales. 1 is loyal, 0 not loyal. Can you imagine that? Let's say like this. Okay. This one. Let's say this one is run between 0 and 1. 0 is loyal, 0 is not loyal, 1 is loyal. So you want to identify whether the customer, okay. So okay. So we can put here. Okay. Let's see like this. So from this point, 1 is loyal, 0 is not loyal. Which variable determines loyalty the most? Wait a second. Wrong. This is the sales. We need to change the data. The cell is still there. Migration. Y is correct. X is this one. Okay. Override. What cells still here? Sales is the Y. Okay. A second. Regression. Sales. Okay, sales is 1 loyal, 0 not loyal. X will be here. Okay. Label we put in here. Okay. Look. Sales is going here. Supposedly sales is the Y. Supposedly sales is the Y. And in here, sales is also here. double counting kah? Oh, all right. This is one is sales staff kah? Sorry. Sales staff. Okay, sales staff. Okay, meaning sales staff ya, not sales because the sales is on the Y. Sales staff. Okay, so you see the result here. So which variable determine the sales the most? Anybody can answer?
R&D. Is it R&D?
R&D, yes, R&D. Yeah, determine the sales the most. Okay, because this is positively related. But if it is, we can also put, oh sorry, okay, the online relationship because this is negatively related. Yeah, so the more relationship, the less the sales. So this one also on the negative side, this one also giving the most power. The more relationship, the lesser the sales because it has negative relationship. Alright, so the more the R&D, the more the sales. This is the positive relationship. This is the negative relationship. Capish? The biggest power is on the online relationship.
So may I know how will we display this data? Will we just put the table there, or is there another way to display
Yeah,
this data for?
you just put the table there, and then from that you can identify which category determines the dependent variable the most. Which category determine the target variable the most.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, capish?
And then we just ignore the other numbers in other column. We just have to see these first column numbers.
Okay.
Only the coefficient.
Yes, the only coefficient. But actually, for the real data, because the data is dummy, p-value supposedly below 0.05, and t-statistic is above 1.96. That's category. That's what we call it significant. Yeah? And the R square is, the more it is getting closer to 1, the better, meaning that it represents. Yeah? So that's all. Yeah? If it is p-value below 0.05 and t-statistic above 1.96, then it is called significant. Capish? Capish?
Pronto.
Good. All right, and then, yep. So, where were we? Okay, so we have the marketing experiments using the multivariate analysis. Yeah? So we have the awareness is equal to constanta plus coefficient times the variable plus coefficient times the variable. A second. And the model will be y equal to constanta plus beta times the x1 plus beta 2 times x2 plus blah blah blah. Yeah. So in the here, this is the constanta. This is the variable, and this is the coefficient, the beta. Yeah. So if you want to identify the new customer, whether it is loyal or not loyal or whatever the target independent variable is, you can use this model. All right. Oh my God. I think, okay, we need another 5 minutes before one group's presenting the case. All right, so the marketing principle, all custom competitor reacts, yeah, and we need to manage sustainable competitive advantage. So there is input, process, and output. The input will be the positioning statements, yeah, on the target external customer, and then the acquisition, expansion, and retention strategy, and then the future trend. The model we use is the approach is using the Bohr equity stack. Yeah, and then the acquisition, expansion, retention strategy, and Bohr equity grids, and brand and relationship management. The analysis we can use field experiment, conjoint analysis, multivariate regression, and choice model. I explain you the multivariate regression due to time constraint. And then the sustainable competitive advantage output will be the existing sustainable competitive advantage, why you win now. And the future sustainable competitive advantage, how you will win the future. And then you can also develop the brand offering and relationship strategy using the model to identify the brand strategies, which brand strategy you want to use, whether it is advertising or PR. Which one gives you higher coefficient? Offering strategy, whether it is what was the variable? R&D or new tech. Which one gives you higher coefficient? Relationship manager, marketing, whether it is sales staff or the what was that? Sales staff or the online relationship. Which one gives you higher beta? Yeah. So the process will be using the what we call acquisition, expansion, retention strategy, and Bohr equity grids. This is the approach. So we need to identify the strategy for each of the acquisition, expansion, and retention based on the persona that you have developed on the marketing principle number 1. Yeah, that all the customer is differ. How many persona do you have? That is your target persona. On top of the acquisition strategy, expansion strategy, and retention strategy, what is your acquisition strategy for them? This is your RFM model. Yeah? For this persona, what is your not RFM? So on the retention, what is your retention program for the persona 1, persona 2, or persona 3? Yeah? So let's say you have the persona, and then you create the RFM based on the persona. Persona 1, for the acquisition strategy, what is your strategy? For the expansion, what is the strategy? For retention, what is the strategy? Based on the persona. So the acquisition, expansion, and retention stages account for customer dynamics. Yeah. So this one is for customer dynamics. This one is for customer heterogeneity. So we have a matrix here. What is your strategy for each of the cell? After that, you continue to brand offering and retention equity grid. It is on the brand strategy. On the brand strategy, offering strategy, then relationship strategy. Yeah. So what is the marketing objective, relative advantages, and sources of sustainability? On the brand strategy, what is your objectives? What is the advantage? Yeah, versus the competitor's brand. And what is the source of sustainability? Yeah, offering. What is the offering objectives? What is the compared to the competitor? What is the sources? Relationship strategy. What is the objectives? Yeah. What is the advantage and the resource? Given the environmental trend, of the technology trend, regulatory trend, and socio-economic trend. Yeah. So this is how you create the connection between the acquisition, expansion, retention strategy and the brand offering and relationship equity grids. Arasa? Questions? No questions? All right. Okay. So you will have the micro analysis of the customer heterogeneity and dynamics on the IER strategy grid, and macro perspective on the market-based source of the sustainable competitive advantage on the brand offering and relationship equity grids. So the takeaway from here is that all competitors react, and then customer generate sales and profit, where the firm must protect them from attacking by the competitors. All sustainable competitive advantage must have three conditions. The customer must care, and then the firm must do better than competitor, and it is hard to duplicate. And in the marketing domains, the primary sources of sustainable competitive advantage are the BOR, and then experiment can reveal the causality of BOR investment. Remember the experiment, the one with the treatment and not non-treatment. Competitor may have many ways to undermine the sustainable competitive advantage by using the technical innovations, yeah, exploiting customer desires, better solution, me-too offerings. The customer equity perspective implies that the customer should be considered as an asset, yeah, and we need to track the BOR equity. So there are three inputs on the sustainable competitive framework. Yeah, the three input, and then the output is 2. There are description of the current SCA and the future SCA, and then the 3-step process for managing the SCA includes the AER strategy grid and BOR equity grid. Technology, regulatory, and socio-economic trends constantly change, so that condition gives the macro condition for the BOR equity grid. All right, so that is the material for today. Any questions? So far so good, Arasto?
Arasio.
All right, nice.
Digesting, Pak.
Digesting. So this is tough, yeah. Advanced material from Paltier.
Yes, sure is.
Yes, this is advanced marketing strategy from Paltier. Okay, nice. So right now I will give this chance for 20 minutes for you to present your case. All right, I stop share. Okay.